Alright guys, I really want to say I'm surprised by this news, but to be completely honest, with the trajectory that COD has been on, and with all of these gooch lickers just doing absolutely anything in their power to validate Infinity Ward, Activision, Bobby Cosby. I mean, some of these guys will go on all fours for Infinity Ward and Joe Seacott, but the news that we got this morning is not only non-surprising, but it's also extremely disappointing because the implications it has for Call of Duty going forward, when you really peel back the layers as to what is actually happening and what this means, I really don't think this is a good sign for Call of Duty if you're not a casual, if you're somebody who's going to spend $20 on bundles to get Messi in MW 2019 Part 2, if you're not a Sentinel, this implicates some pretty bad stuff for the franchise going forward. If you guys haven't heard, I'm going to put this on the screen by Charlie Intel. This is breaking news. Modern Warfare 2 is the fastest selling Call of Duty ever, and has surpassed $800 million in its first opening weekend, beating out the previous record holder of MW3 back in 2011. More players online in opening weekend than ever before in franchise history. So before I get into this, let me just entertain this for a little bit. Congratulations to Infinity Ward on breaking a record. Congratulations to Activision for getting more money. Congratulations to Bobby Cosby for still being filthy rich. Congratulations to everybody involved in making MW 2019 Part 2. And the reason I say that is because that is the only time you'll ever hear me mutter those words ever again in your lives. This in particular is god-awful news for Call of Duty. Let me just explain something very quickly. This is premium gas to every gooch licker out there, to every fanboy out there, to all of the devs that are half-assing their jobs, to Joe Seacott who is manning the ship behind this. I don't even know if he's still involved, but hearing something like this has to be one of the most validating things you could hear. Your game that so many people are opposed to is the fastest selling Call of Duty ever. And that is exactly why people like myself, the Scatmaster, step up, and now it is my job to get your heads out of the clouds and out of your asses for that matter, and remind you guys that there are some serious fucking problems with this game. We are 4 days in, there's been no update. Fair enough, you know what, Infinity Ward, they might be cooking up something. I don't really know, but they might be. I heard there's a Trello board out there, but people are editing it and saying fucking stupid shit like remove SBMM and increase the TTK. They're just trolling the Trello board, which is pretty funny, but unless Infinity Ward comes out with a banger of an update that fixes absolutely like everything, maybe like 90% of all the problems that this game had at launch, then I'm gonna be the one to go ahead and say it. This accomplishment, this accolade, it shouldn't belong to this game. It shouldn't belong to Infinity Ward at this point in time. It definitely shouldn't be held up by Activision, and Bobby Cosby of all people should not be proud of something like this. If you haven't seen my last two videos, I recommend you just go ahead and check them out. I'm detailing quite a few problems that this game has, some of which I doubt are going to be fixed, and some of which should have never existed in the first place. Not to mention there's missing features that have been in every single Call of Duty since COD 4 back in 2007. We are in 2022 going into 2023. 15 years later, we still have some of the same issues. 15 years later, we're missing some of the features that were there previously. And 15 years later, Infinity Ward is on some weird high horse where they're just ignoring the community and ignoring feedback and ignoring recommendations and suggestions to make the game better. And even through all of that, they're still getting the highest selling Call of Duty of all time. People who have issues with this game, people who want this game to improve, this is god-awful news because going forward, this is the standard that we have for launches. Think about everything you've dealt with, everything you've experienced this launch. There are people who are proud of that. To all the gooch lickers out there, the taint eaters, it's okay to be happy for your game, but understand that there are literal issues that are preventing other people from even touching the game. There's people out there who are falsely banned and can never touch this game again. There's people out there who literally can't load into a game without crashing. And speaking of crashing, I could have sworn Infinity Ward put out a tweet and an update saying that they were working on it and fixed it, and we should notice improvements on it. That's absolute cap. Last night, by the time you guys are watching this video, I'm partied up with some some friends and everybody's crashing. PC players getting scan and repair still. Myself on PlayStation 5, I'm blue screening out of nowhere. My game freezes before I even get into a lobby. While I'm in a lobby and I see the fucking border crossing map, my game freezes and I can't fucking back out. What do you mean I should notice improvements? It's the same shit. And to get back on the topic of revenue, you guys remember the Vault edition of this game, right? The extra like 30-40 bucks to get the red team, ghost, and price skin and soap skin, to get all the attachments on the M4 or some shit like that, to get double XP and extra COD points. I'm sure you guys remember that, right? Get in the comments if this has happened to you, because apparently this has happened to multiple people who have bought the Vault edition of this game. There's people who still haven't received the double XP for like 20 hours of the game. There's people who haven't gotten their COD points. Some people had to buy the shit twice. And you know what? Hold on. Imagine that. Imagine buying the shit twice just to get your COD points and your fucking double XP. I guess there was also some little loophole with the Vault edition where the pre-order bonus of the double XP hours was only valid if you bought the Vault edition through the in-game store. So you had to do it from the Vanguard menu, from the Cold War menu, from the MW 2019 menu. And if you did it anywhere else, I don't know if you could do it on Steam, but if you did it on the PlayStation Store, then those double XP tokens would not count towards your Vault edition. Same with the COD points. I don't know how many people this has affected, but it's being reported by quite a lot. Maybe some of the devs and studios and some of the gooch lickers being ultimately gassed up by this accomplishment. Maybe it shouldn't be as valid as you think. One of my favorite things actually is that Bobby Cosby actually commented on this accomplishment. So as if you weren't being gassed up enough, you have your master, your ringleader, your biological father coming out and saying, "Thank you to our talented teams out there for putting more money in my pockets, creating a bigger greedy pig out of Activision, and allowing me to go Super Saiyan God Woman Fondler Mastered form." I mean, it doesn't get better than that. You guys enjoy this game, you will eat this game's gooch from the bag, and on top of that, your father actually came out and put out a statement for you guys. That has to be one of the best feelings out there. I wouldn't know because I personally think the launch of this game is fucking trash. And just to stir the pot a little bit more and allow these gooch lickers to continue being delusional, Charlie Intel comes out with another tweet giving out the sales for every single Modern Warfare title out there within the first few days of its launch. And as you can see, we have MW2, the original, the actual good one, MW3, MW 2019, and then MW 2019 Part 2 with $800 million in its first 3 days. And then he comes out and says, Call of Duty is alive and well. What a wonderful statement. Yes, Call of Duty is alive 3 days after a AAA title launched. I would have never guessed. But to say it's well, that's interesting because this launch is not well. Not in the fucking slightest. Again, if you need specific details, specific reasons, go check out my last 2 videos. But as a quick summary, I guess, double XP tokens don't even have a timer on them. Camo unlock notifications aren't on. Some of the maps are missing, some of the guns are missing. Double XP tokens and COD points haven't tracked through the Vault edition of the game. There's no hardcore mode, no split screen mode. For some people, SBMM is going fucking stupid right now. There's in-game glitches where it looks like you're on fucking acid and the whole map becomes a fucking rainbow. Don't know what that's about. Infinity Ward literally looked at a portion of the community dead in the face and said, you want dead silence as a perk? You want red dots on the minimap? Fuck that. No. People are getting falsely banned as a side effect to their game crashing, which happens very fucking often. People even got banned from the campaign as if people are cheating in the campaign. Whoever created the border crossing map needs to be sent to the gulag. I mean, there's just so much shit wrong with this game right now at launch, and to say that it's alive and well, as if this launch is good or acceptable, is simply giving these gooch lickers more ammunition to be delusional. Because if you say anything that critiques this game in the slightest, do you know what these morons come up with? Oh, it's the most successful Call of Duty, or it's the highest selling COD of all time, the fastest selling. Shut the fuck up. Nobody's making up that these issues exist. There's a Trello board detailing some of the issues that I just brought up. Infinity Ward has acknowledged some of them themselves. This game shouldn't have launched at this time if it was in this state with this many bugs and this many errors and this many issues, yet it still did. And for this game to be the fastest selling Call of Duty of all time, maybe it implies we're still in the dark ages of COD where everything is about money and less about quality, because this launch is not quality at all. Maybe for some of you guys, you have no issues. That's okay. Go through the comments of my last 2 videos. Go check Twitter, Reddit, YouTube, everywhere else. People are detailing their experiences and their problems with this game, and while some of these issues are gonna get fixed, some of them probably aren't. But hey, congrats on the fastest selling Call of Duty of all time. I would have never guessed with the title of Modern Warfare 2 in 2022, direct sequel to MW 2019, all hail Bobby Cosby, and hopefully with the next title we get another incomplete launch, a messy, buggy title, and maybe we'll get more accomplishments out there, guys. Who knows? But that's gonna do it for me today, guys. I'm curious to know what you guys think about this. Do you think this game truly deserves that accolade? Let me know down in the comments below, and if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new, hit the bell notifications to stay up to date with my newest videos, and yeah guys, it's been the Scadmaster. Have yourselves a good one. I'm out this shit.
This ain't in my body.